What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Yes, we are live here on, it's Monday, the new week after the draft. The draft is over. The draft is over. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the offseason is here. This is what I consider the start of football boredom, okay? But don't worry, here at TD Fans Talk, we're going to load it up for you all. We're going to make sure that at this point going forward, we got multiple streams. Let me fix my chair. We got multiple streams coming your way every single day. I will be pumping out great content as much as I possibly can because I understand that this is where I get to get in my bag and do the best streams that I possibly can, give you all the best content that I possibly can, for the simple reason that it typically gets boring from this day forward. I know that the Miami Dolphins may be looking at some free agent targets still, but from this day forward up until training camp, it tends to get very, very boring. But hey, that's what I'm here for. I plan on giving you great content every single day. I'm trying to, going forward, give you a minimum of about 2 streams a day and give you great content loaded up. We're going to be going over player bios, just everything this offseason, because I think we're about to do something special, ladies and gentlemen. I got a good stream coming up later about the overall offseason for the Miami Dolphins, giving them their final grade, and telling you what I truly do believe early on this team can achieve in the 2022-2023 season. But before we get to all of that, I got a good stream for you right now. The Miami Dolphins linebacker Channing Tindall, post-draft assessment, real talk. Why did I put real talk at the back of it? Because on draft night, we get all hype. Everybody, no matter who we get, it's the best thing ever. Now I get to sit down, take some time to evaluate the pick, evaluate the player, and say to myself, do I truly feel the way that I felt on draft night? And now you get an opportunity to get the real raw assessment of Channing Tindall from me, okay? Now, we all know draft night, I raved. I said it was the perfect pick, X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. But as we come a few days removed from the draft, I got to be honest with y'all on my real assessment. It's the same. This guy is still the legit pick for the Miami Dolphins. We're about to break down all the reasons why. We also, we got to make sure that we keep it, real and raw over here. We got to talk about some of the concerns, some of the things that could potentially, make this not a favorable pick, potentially. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I personally believe this is going to be an amazing pick when it comes to long-term success for the Miami Dolphins. But without further ado, we're about to dive in. But before we do, we already got 130 people watching. If y'all can do me a favor, hit the like button. Go ahead and push the like button. We can go ahead and get this started off the right way. And we can go ahead and get people in the room because the notifications are not being sent out to everyone. So do me a favor. Please take the time right now, if you appreciate the great content, to punch that like button. See if we can get over 100 likes real quick and bring more people inside the room. Because anytime we got over 100 people, we should have over 100 likes. All right. All right. Anywho, let's go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I got an opportunity to see the kids' phone call with Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm excited because a lot of people say a lot of things to their new head coach. But he kept it short and sweet, and he said exactly what I wanted to hear him say. Mike McDaniel basically told him to enjoy this time with your family and celebrate. Tindall told him in response, I won't disappoint you. That's all we want to hear as Dolphin fans. I won't disappoint you. His expectation is not to disappoint. His expectation is to come in and be a guy that you made the right decision when you drafted him. I will not disappoint you. And how many times have we been disappointed, ladies and gentlemen? Whether it be this team in general, a player, whatever it may be, that was music to my ears to know that this kid's mentality in his head is simply, I will not disappoint you. We've been disappointed too many times. It feels good to know that somebody at least has the mindset not to. Still got to go out and produce, but he at least has the mindset not to. And you know the interesting part about that conversation? Mike McDaniel told him, "You are the first draft pick of mine as a head coach." And I hope that's one of those, signs, inaugural things. Hopefully his first draft pick was the best draft pick as far as I care. When it comes to linebackers, man, have we really had a franchise linebacker since our boy Zach Thomas? Have we had a franchise linebacker since Zach Thomas? And I ain't talking about no middle of the road linebackers that were good, that were here for a year, 2 or 3, a franchise linebacker, one that was with us 10 plus years. And hopefully he can become that for us, okay? Now, in all of this, who benefits the most for receiving a weapon like Tindall? Honestly, it's not Mike McDaniel, even though it can bring success to his defense. Josh Boyer benefits the most out of all of this. I mean, it's going to be his defense that he's orchestrating, and he gets a true weapon that can play so many. The way our defense is set up, he can do so many different things. He can do so many different things, and Josh Boyer is going to be interesting to see how he deploys him when it comes to training camp. Only time will tell, but we'll break that down as time goes. Some of the kids' intangibles, I think some of the main things that stand out is his speed. I mean, he was one of 3 linebackers in the entire draft that ran a 4.7, under a 5. He is a sub 5 linebacker. Him and only 2 other linebackers in this draft ran sub 5.0. And he's one of them running a 4.7. So he's moving. He is moving very fast as a linebacker, ladies and gentlemen. And that is going to be good whenever you talk about trying to keep up with tight ends and receivers coming across the middle, having a step on them. Another intangible, man, this kid had a elite 42-inch vertical jump, and he tied. Let me tell you what he did in the combine. His 42-inch vertical jump, it was tied for the highest vertical jump, not at the linebacker position, but of anybody in the draft. Let me say that again. This kid's 42 vertical jump tied the highest out of anybody in the draft. In other words, he had the best vertical jump and tied with the other any other top player that did it. 42-inch vertical, man. Sickening. Okay? TD, he ran a 4.47, not a 4.7. Excuse me, did I say 4.7? 4.47. Sorry. Okay? Sorry. I said it was sub 4.5. I don't know why I ain't add the 4 in there, but 4.47. Okay? So we got a linebacker that runs a 4.4. This kid is blazing fast. I appreciate you correcting that if it came out the wrong way. All right? Thank you so much. Also, here's the thing that I love about him as well. He got the ultimate collegiate experience. What do you mean, TD? Well, he was a senior. He actually went through all his years playing at the position. See, some kids, they come out as soon as they show that they may be NFL ready, they come out right away. Not this kid. He actually got the full collegiate experience. He was an actual senior. And the best thing about him being a senior, he was a standout in his senior season. And the best season he had was his senior season. And every season he got better, which means he's headed on a trajectory. He played 50 games in his college experience. Last season, when they won the championship, he played all 15 games. And the beautiful part about it, on the biggest stage in the national championship game, he tied his career high with 8 tackles in the big game itself. It tells you that in the big moment, like when we play Buffalo at the end of a season, or we got a Tennessee game, you know that he may show up, because on the biggest moments, he doesn't shrink. He shows up. In the biggest moments, he don't shrink. He actually shows up. And that's what we look for, man. because I'm tired of these guys that can play well against the scrubs, but in the biggest moment, they look like boo-boo hot trash. No, not this guy. And I love that, man. And another thing about him, he has great versatility. What they don't tell you in the scouting is that he didn't just play in the inside on the linebacker position. He also played on the edge, and they plugged him in on the inside. He plays all. Let me say, this guy sideline to sideline, some would say is much better than Sammy Guavin. Now, remember when Sammy Guavin first came in out of the NFL, when we brought him in, we raved about his sideline to sideline. We already know we got a 4.47 guy. Sideline to sideline is going to be ridiculous. He could play at the edge, and he could play interior linebacker. They're going to find a lot of playing time for him, in my opinion. I think they're going to find a lot of playing time for him. Why? Because when Jalen Phillips isn't in, he can play that role, and he can play coverage out of it. Now, we're going to talk about coverage skills in a moment. It's just his speed would allow him to. All right. And also the interior, no questions about that in that area. His versatility is unrivaled. Also, he's also a special teams guy. He was a special teams ace. So he plays on special teams, the core of it in his college career. So he's going to get a lot of playing time. Not only is he going to be a great player with special teams, recording 8 tackles in college on a special teams unit, but he's also going to be playing the linebacker position and the edge position at times, depending on how we want to deploy him. I'm telling y'all now, I think that Javon Holland will not be deployed the way he was as much because we have guys that can now be deployed in such way, like him, so that the secondary can have even more of a safety blanket where you don't have to load the box as much, making it even tougher on defenses. Making it even tougher. If you understand how our defense works now, we take a lot of chances. The zero looks and then bringing Holland down in the box and then blitzes up the middle off the edge. It's still taking risks. And we feel comfortable taking those risks because of Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. But anytime we get burnt by those risks, it's a big game. Now you may not even have to take as many of those risks because of a guy like this. I love his versatility, all right? He's going to get a lot of playing time early on. I truly believe it. He's going to be the guy that spares everybody on the field. Everybody on the field, which is going to allow him to have starter-type quality minutes. Real talk, all right? On first downs, you might see him in the Jalen Phillips role. On second down, you might see him in the middle. Third down, in the middle, spying on quarterbacks. This is what you might see, guys. All right. Now, next thing is, another thing that I love about him is his upside. See, and we're going to have a brief conversation about this when it comes to upside in the NFL, something people really don't talk about, right? Greer talked about speaking to his college coach and basically how he progressed every year, and there's still things that he can get better on. To be at this level already, be at this level, and then you can tell that there's still a large upside. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't dare putting him in the class of Zach Thomas, but you never know. This type of upside can tell you got your next Zach. I wouldn't dare try to compare a young player like this to Zach Thomas, but at the same token, his upside, in my opinion, could be just on that level. On that level. Because if he can play his role effectively to where we don't have to have the safety in the box all the time, I'm telling you now, this is dangerous. Now, since he's so versatile, Duke Riley and Sammy Guavin, you're on the clock. Just keeping it 1,000 with y'all. Duke Riley and Sammy Guavin, you're on the clock. This pickup puts you on the clock. Duke Riley and Sammy Guavin, you are on the clock officially. All right. So Let me see. What else did I have? Yeah, that upside. So, and I want to finish off with the upside piece. And then I got some more about him that I want to talk about, the things that if we did have a concern, what they would be. This notion with the upside, everybody always say upside, 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 upside. Here's what people need to understand. The greater you are, the less upside you are that you have, excuse me. This is just a basic notion. Okay? Basic. If you're the number 1 overall pick, you're a dog. You are a baller. Like, you should be contributing day one. But that same contribution, there can't be that much upside, not compared to a 3rd, 4th round pick. Not compared to a 3rd, 4th round pick. That's why you pick a player in the 1st round. That's why they're so high. Because you already getting something that may be just about NFL ready, and the upside ain't that great, but you got a guy already. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start having a lot of conversations about that, because there are a lot of players that we throw around the words, but his upside is greater. It could be greater, but how much is that? And if you're pick number 2 overall and you struggling, yeah, but I bank on the upside. How much more upside is there? Think about that. Okay? But a guy like this who could actually come to camp and be a starter, having upside, you can't lose. These are the ones right here, ladies and gentlemen. These are the ones right here. These are the steals. These are the guys that 5 years from now, they're going to perform as if they were picked in the 1st round. And you'll look back and be like, hey, we find good linebackers. We found Channing Tindall. He was a late 3rd rounder. And look, he playing at a 1st round level, top 10. These are the ones, ladies and gentlemen. These are the ones. Okay? Now let's get into the part that's not as desirable. What areas concern you about Channing? So, number 1, not a lot of sample size and coverage skills. And isn't the greatest of cover corners. But let me tell you what gives you optimism on the upside in that area. His speed, 4.47. See, when you got a 4.53, 4.52 guy, it's like, man, he's not a good cover guy though, and you're concerned about that. If you already don't have the knack for the game to cover well, and then you're not as fast, his speed gives you the thought process that we can develop that. Because even if he doesn't do as well starting out the gate, at least he won't be far behind. At least he'll be in the vicinity of the offensive player. At least if somebody makes the catch, he can catch up potentially or close quicker. His speed is what we're going to need to rely on in his coverage skills for that to develop. I'll say that much. Okay. Next, here's the last thing that I would say is a concern. And y'all know, TD, this is always a concern of mine with somebody coming out of a big school, a great school. Okay? So he's not exempt. Okay? He's not exempt. He played on an elite defense. Now, he helped it become elite, but he played on an elite defense. That could be a concern. We don't know. Why do I say that? He played next to the number 1 overall pick in Trayvon Walker. Not next to him, he was on the line. 7 players on that defense he played with got drafted in the first 3 rounds. And y'all know my theory. When you're surrounded by greatness, everybody is elevating everybody else's level as well. And look at the two linebackers he played next to, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker. So I'm not even going to make that an issue, but my thing is we have to see him stand alone in the NFL now. Because I don't care what you say. Will he going to be next to in Miami? It's going to be all right. But we don't have an elite linebacking core. That's why it's one of the biggest that's why it was one of the biggest needs for this team. And I'm glad Miami addressed it. I'm glad they brought in a playmaker. I'm glad they brought in a potential guy that could be that dude. I'm so glad at them for doing this. I think he'll be just fine in my assessment. But it's something, it's something to watch for. Because we don't skip past anything. This is what we want to watch for. That's the only question. Is he a product of himself, or is he a product of himself and the defense around him? Because I'll never take credit for oneself. But do they get all credit? And that's what we'll be able to evaluate in his success on this level. If he balls out and he wins himself a starting role, or not a starting role, but a 60% snap role, oh, he's that dude on his own, in my opinion. You don't want to come in being a 20% snap guy, just situational. We need you to impact right away because there's too much opportunity. When Jalen Phillips isn't on the field, you can play that role, as you did in college on the edge at times. You should, in my opinion. I'm looking for you to beat out Duke and Sam. I'm looking for him to beat out Duke and Sam, at least. I'm looking for him to get into some of them reps of Landon. Well, Jerome going to have his role. I'm telling y'all that now, okay? Too much money. But anyway, that's what I'm looking for. So we'll keep our eye on that situation, and that's what it's going to come down to, all right? But overall, I want to tell y'all that the grade that I give the Miami Dolphins for the 102 overall pick late in the third round, Channing Tindall out of Georgia, solid A. It's not an A+, it's not an A-. It is a solid A. I love this because of the need of the team. Great job, Miami Dolphins. And last thing, and I'll close on this note, the kid is a tackling machine that will literally be Josh Allen's kryptonite. When you go watch his game film, they also utilized him in the middle, just spying on the quarterback in obvious throwing situations. I'm going to sit right here. I'm your man. You going left? I'm going left. I got you. And he closes. He's going to be Josh Allen's kryptonite, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to be that dude that will not let Josh Allen get out and escape. He just won't let it happen. That's what I love the most. I'm telling y'all, you going to see. Listen, and this is the type of guy that changes the entire landscape of the Miami Dolphins versus Buffalo Bills. This is the type of guy. If you could just take away the running ability of Josh Allen and keep him in the pocket, he's still going to have some level of success, but it is over. That's the only element of Josh Allen game that really concerns me with the Miami Dolphins. And if you can shut that area down, our team, the team that we've built, can take care of the rest collectively. You are not going to shut Josh Allen down. But what he brings to the table, minimizing Josh Allen's running effect of a game, is all we need. And this team that we've built can take care of the rest. This that Josh Allen killer, baby. Fans up, baby. Fans up the comment section if you agree. Fans up the comment section if you agree. Tell me what you think. I truly believe it. This is the guy to do it. Someone said Josh Allen's kryptonite, lay off the drugs. Gotta get it. We ain't trying to shut Josh Allen down because that's not possible. You shouldn't be trying to shut Josh Allen down. You should just try to take away one element of his game, and that's getting him 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a carry. That's the only element that you need to take away from Josh Allen. Let him do the rest. But as soon as you move outside of that pocket, you get nothing. If you can focus on just that part of his game and let the rest of this team do the rest, we will not lose to those bums. We will not lose to those bums. That's all you have to do. Some of y'all don't see that. Nobody's sitting here expecting to shut Josh Allen out. That's a bad formula. Stop him from passing. Stop him from running. Stop him in the second. No, he's going to great quarterback. No, let me not say great. I can't stand that bum. Disregard what I said. Quarterbacks, they going to do what they do. Some of the better ones, I'll put it like that. They'll do what they do. But it is our job to make sure that we take away certain elements that render you helpless. And them running the ball with him is what really gets you. And Channing Tindall can be that dude that ends it all. This is TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Wanted to give you my breakdown of Channing Tindall. I got a lot more streams coming your way. I'm going to try to give you about 2 every single day, 2 to 3. All right. At some point, we're going to start discussing the undrafted free agents. We'll probably hit that later in the week because I still have a lot of draft coverage to go over. Next up, we're going to talk about Eric Ezukanma. We're going to talk about his breakdown, what I truly think about that pick. And then after that, we're going to talk about Cameron Good. I got to get these players' pronunciations down pat because I'm terrible with names, and my haters going to always try to mess with me on that. But screw y'all. But and then last, we're going to do Skylar Thompson. And then once we finish those, we'll basically break down the undrafted free agents. We're not going to talk about all the undrafted free agents. I feel like we got 50 of them, okay? We're just going to talk about I got to do the work anyway and go through all 50 of them. But I'm just going to try to talk about like the top 5 that really have an opportunity to do something on this team and or make the practice squad for the future, all right? Because, listen, you could bring in 20 guys, only about 5 of them going to be relevant in 2 months. And that relevance may only be practice squad, but it's about developing for the future. All right. Unless somebody shock us and surprise us like Preston did, but he still ain't living up to what we wish he would have. All right. The Nick Needhams of the world, different things like that. All right. So we'll break into all of that. You know what? But I did have one more before I do Eric Ezukanma. I am going to talk about the Miami Dolphin draft grade as a whole. I'm going to do a stream on that. I might actually do it now in about 5 minutes after I end this one. We're going to talk about the Miami Dolphin draft grades that everybody's out there giving us by the media, the C minuses and C minuses, the C's and the B minuses and all of that. I'm going to talk to y'all about why you need to ignore that because there is an actual reason why. Most people would draft us around a C on this draft. But I'm going to sit down and tell y'all why not to worry about it and why it's different. It's a different perspective. Y'all will understand the stream when it comes, okay? So a matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that for y'all in about 5 minutes. Come back here to TDPHINSTALK, and I'm going to have that stream for y'all. I want to talk to y'all real quick about the draft grades for the Miami Dolphins and why the national media has us where we are. Okay, they're not hating on us actually having us at a C and stuff, but I'm gonna tell you why to ignore it anyway. Okay, talk to y'all soon. Love y'all so much. Hit the like button on your way out. I'll be live in about 5 minutes to bring that one to you. See you soon. And I'm trying to start breaking up the content that way, people can listen to ones that they specifically want to listen to, and it'll help the channel flow even better. All right, giving more people just what they want. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See you in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned. Turn on your notifications just in case you don't have them on. Maybe you'll get them. Peace. I'm out.